Right. And also just the patience of waiting that long in order to earn such a high income, right? You feel that urge to spend once you finally start making some, as well as, these people that are in their 20s making millions of dollars. I mean, it's practically like they won the lottery, right? They don't know how to manage that money because it wasn't gradual. It was such a sudden shift
Hmm.
that their identity couldn't keep up, right? Because if you look at very wealthy people, they have this mindset of how to operate and make more money, right? Like, for example, a multimillionaire, if they lost everything, and I've heard this several times, it's like, well, if I lost everything, I can make it back because, they spent the years learning how to make that money, which was more important than the money itself, versus a lottery win is very terrifying because you didn't, if things like, for example, your hand situation, right? If an athlete breaks their leg, how are they going to make $7 more million next year? That's a very terrifying thing to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
hmm What is some of the mindsets that you had to shift within yourself in order to start making more money or more streams of income?
I think the probably the biggest mindset shift came from you either hate him or you love him, Robert Kiyosaki,
Mm,
Rich Dad Poor Dad. But he had a concept in that book. Plus, he has a whole other book that's centered around this. It's the cash flow quadrant. And my mindset shift was about how most people don't think about how they make money. They just go to work. But once he stepped back and showed this cash flow quadrant about, you have a cross, and on the left side is the poor side, and it's you're an E on the top left or an S, self-employed. 99% of people are either employees or they're self-employed. Well, I thought going from an employee, because I got out working for somebody, I always wanted to own my own practice. So I always thought I want to be my own boss. Once I do that, I got it made, but I'm still just an employee, just in a different situation because I'm still trading time for money. If I don't show up for work and treat patients, no money comes in. And that's the trap. And all of that money, whether you're an employee or you're self-employed, it's active income. It's the highest tax income. It's even worse when you're self-employed because you have to pay self-employment tax. Whereas you're an employee, at least you can split it with your employer. And most of the time people want to be employees because they like that security, that job security. They like the benefits, whether it's health insurance, 401k, other types of insurance, whatever. And I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I know personally that are absolutely miserable in their jobs, and they're just like, man, it's got 2 more years left. I'm just doing it just when I retire, get the benefits. And it's just like, man, that's 2 years of your life or 3 years, whatever. You're wasting. You're miserable because of some little Peasley benefits. But that's the system, and that's how I would have been until I realized how I was making money. So the goal is to get onto the other side of the quadrants. The B in the top right is the business person, or the I, the investor. That's what we talked about. The business owner. Think of a gym owner that. A friend of mine owns a gym. He doesn't have to be there. He can go. That's the thing. He has all these people running the gym. You're a business owner. You have employees running it, whether you're there or not. Unlike somebody like me that's self-employed. And then the goal is to get to the I, the investor, where your money is making money for you 24 hours a day. And again, all of those types of income streams are the lowest taxed income streams. But then that was the mindset shift. So I had to figure out, okay, how am I making money? I'm self-employed. Now I got to figure out how to get from the left side to the right side. And you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't even know how you're making money, then how can you even begin to start? So once for people watching this or listening to this, figure out, how are you making money? If you don't go to work, do you get paid? If not, then you need to get to the point to where your money is working for you regardless.